Introduction. In the shadow of an empire. One of history's brightest names, Alexander the Great. When we hear his name, we think of conquests, battles, and empires. But today, we'll talk about a very different Alexander. Not about his sword, but his gold. Not about his victories, but the mystery behind his wealth. How did one of history's youngest conquerors amass such unimaginable riches in such a short time? The answer lies hidden in the shadows of his conquests: money, power, and strategy. Alexander's world. Born in 356 BC in Macedonia, Alexander inherited his father King Philip II's imperial dream. But he went far beyond his father's ambitions. He ascended to the throne at just 20, and by the age of 30 he had conquered half the known world. But how much did such massive campaigns and countless soldiers cost? Wars are not won by courage alone, but by money, and Alexander knew this better than anyone. Short the power of money. Alexander's true genius lay not only in strategy, but in economics. Every land he conquered yielded not only kings, but also treasure. The Persian Empire's riches were among the greatest in history. According to legend, when he captured Persepolis, he found 120,000 talents of gold and silver. Its modern equivalent, roughly $3 billion. But wealth alone wasn't the point. The real brilliance was in how he managed it. The economy of war. Alexander melted down the gold he seized and minted new coins bearing his own image. It wasn't just an economic move, it was a declaration of power. His new Alexander coins circulated across the vast empire. Each coin, marked with his face, served as a silent reminder. Everyone knew who ruled the world now. Strategic wealth. But Alexander didn't merely hoard his gold, he invested it. He founded new cities, Alexandria, which became both military bases and trade centers. Through these cities, he gained control over major trade routes. He held the golden artery connecting east and west in his hands. The hidden secret, temple treasures. Some historians believe much of Alexander's wealth came from temple treasures. In the ancient world, temples dedicated to the gods were also massive banks. Alexander seized these sacred riches and absorbed them into his own economy. This act was both a religious and political revolution for its time. God or tyrant in the eyes of the people. Of course, not everyone admired his wealth. Some saw him as a god, others, a greedy conqueror. But one truth was undeniable. Alexander used money not merely as wealth, but as a weapon, to conquer a king's heart, not with a sword, but with gold. That was true power. Death and legacy. Alexander died at just 32, but he left behind one of the greatest empires in history, and a legacy as powerful as his army, his economic system. The coins he minted remained in circulation for centuries. Alexander was gone, but his name continued to live along the world's trade routes. When the price of wealth. But was all this wealth truly his? Or was it the curse of conquest itself? After his death, his enormous fortune was quickly divided and lost. Rivalries among his generals tore apart the empire and devoured its gold. The treasures vanished, but the legend endured. Final words. What is true power? The story of Alexander the Great is not only about conquest, but about the history of money. His power lay not only in his armies, but in his understanding of economics. He proved that wars could be won not only by the sword, but also by gold. Perhaps this was his greatest secret. To conquer the world, one must first conquer wealth itself.